not fun.
It's not a fun.
Also,
So
you said fair.
the first thing you gotta understand, I like it. So the first thing you have to understand is knives are tools, guys.
Tools,
Not toys, exactly. You're never gonna use it to cut anything that's metal, rocks, trees that don't belong to you, or anything that's alive. You're not gonna put it in the dirt. You're not gonna put it in water. And if you ever get it wet from cutting something, you have to clean it when you're done. All right. And you're never going to carve your initials in anything that doesn't belong to you. So don't go into the woods and carve your names into stuff. All right. So the first, yes.
What if you're super good at carving and you make art?
If it belongs to you, you can carve into it. And that's part of what we're going to do. That's part of the lesson for today. We're going to carve into stuff.
I can open it, but I cannot open
You're not allowed to open it, so put it down. All right. So the first thing you're going to have to learn, probably the most important thing, is the blood circle. And I love that this manual still calls it the blood circle because your books now call it the safety circle. So all of you are going to stand up. Everybody stand up.
Get away from me!
Exactly. Put the knife down. Put the knife down. So the blood circle, you actually have the right idea. Exactly. So your blood circle. Yeah, exactly. So your blood circle is exactly that. You put one arm out and you spin. And if anyone is in your blood circle, they're too close for you to be using a knife.
And then you can.
It is
All right?
social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing. It's really easy to know now that you've lived through 2020. All right, come back, sit down. Sit down. So the blood circle isn't just about you. The blood circle is also about other people. So other people might not know the blood circle rules. So you have to pay attention. Not only do you have to make sure that you are alone in your blood circle, you have to pay attention for other people coming into your blood circle. So for an example, that's really happened, is at our last camp out, I was cutting sticks for hot dogs, and someone walked into my blood circle because they didn't know what a blood circle was. So you have to pay attention to make sure that there might not be anybody in your blood circle when you start cutting, but someone might come into it accidentally afterwards. Yes, what's your question?
Is a blood circle do you have to do it or is it by choice?
No, it's a have to. It's not optional. Even Boy Scouts do the blood
cut
circle.
it.
You don't necessarily have to.
You know.
No,
You can cut them.
no. These are all good questions. And why wouldn't you want someone in your blood circle?
Because you can cut their head off.
You could cut their head off. No, you could injure somebody. So when you're cutting like this, if you slip or you miss and someone's in your blood circle.
Usually when you do it, you don't just go. It doesn't go.
Yeah, exactly. So these are all good questions. So yeah, you could accidentally cut someone else. So that you don't want anyone in your blood circle, period. And he brought up the next point, which is you always cut away from yourself. You never want to cut towards yourself.
Because then you could go.
Exactly. So if you cut something and you're cutting it and you miss, you could cut towards yourself.
Be like this.
So that was actually literally the next point on here. It's also important to keep your knife sharp. What's sharp? What's more likely to hurt you, a sharp knife or a dull knife? Dull knife.
Stuck in the water when you yank it, it kills you.
Exactly right. It's not going to kill you. We're not killing each other with pocket knives, but it could hurt you. So yes, if your knife is dull and it gets caught in the wood, then it can when it comes out, it could more likely to hurt you. As opposed to a sharp knife, it's going to go right through
That's why
it.
you go away.
So again, knives are not toys. Put down. You never carry a knife. I'm sorry, you want to turn so the sun's on your eyes?
No.
You never want to carry a knife open. And what else have I got? Oh, we're going to talk cross-contamination, which I can't believe is on here. But cross-contamination is if you use your knife to cut something that's meat, you don't want to then use that same knife to cut something that is a vegetable. Because there can be contamination on the meat, like bacteria or whatever, and you don't want to get that on the vegetables. That's what cross-contamination is. Exactly, same idea. So that's what cross-contamination is. I don't know why that's in here, but that's in here. All right, so here are some more rules. We're going to get to that. It's oil for cleaning. We're going to get to it. We have lots to talk about. We'll get to it, I promise.
Talk faster.
I'm going as fast. We got to get to the safety stuff. You keep interrupting me. So, are knives allowed in school?
No.
Are they allowed at like a football game?
No.
Are they allowed in airports?
No.
They're also not allowed at pack meetings or den meetings unless they tell you to bring them. And so like for example, when we go camping, you're going to be allowed to bring your pocket knife once you have your tote and chip. But likely your parent or the den leader will hold on to the knife for you. They're not just going to let you carry it around with you, okay? You're not allowed to use axes. You're not allowed to use sheath knives until you become a Boy Scout. And then even some Boy Scout troops don't allow you to use sheath knives. All right, so there is a quiz at the end of this. All right, so now we're going to have the fun part. So now I'm going to talk to you about like one of my favorite things in the world. We're going to talk about knives. So these are just part of my knife collection. So we have to learn about the I've lost count of how many knives I have.
10% versus the 0.01.
Then Q-tips are for cleaning knives. We're going to get to that. So there are. I will fix it. So there are three kinds of knives. Excuse me, three kinds of pocket knives according to Cub Scouts. The first one is the pen knife. This is the only pen knife I own because they're kind of silly. So a pen knife, I don't carry it around. So a pen knife is very thin and small. It's usually got one or two blades.
Looks like a knife.
Yeah, no lock. And what these were used for is, in the olden days, you would have a feather that you would write with an ink and feather, and you would carry this around with you, and you would use it to sharpen the feather so that you could write with it. Get it? Pen knife?
Wait, can I tell you something? I found a bottle. That's the dumbest idea.
Well, back in the day, they didn't have computers and typewriters. Yeah, so
You could open it in your pocket and cut your.
so this is not a knife that you guys will be using in Cub Scouts, okay? But you're required to know what it is. It's a pen knife. All right, we'll get to it. All right, second kind of knife. Second kind of knife. We're not there yet. So that's going to be a multi-tool knife. Second kind of knife is what they call a jackknife, or a buck knife. Buck knife is the brand, Buck. But a buck knife is much more useful. So a buck knife has one solid blade that locks. Okay? So when you're cutting with it, it won't go anywhere. Okay? No matter what I do, it's not going to close. And so this is really good for like carving sticks and things like that, because it's not going to lock and close in your hand. So to close it, you have to press this button. And so what you do is you push the button, and then it unlocks. See how it unlocked? And then you can push the blade down. Okay? That's a buck knife. So we're going to practice, and then the third kind is the multi-tool. Okay? Which is what most of you guys have. That's fine. So before we move on. Before we move on, we're going to. That's a buck knife. It's a buck knife. Or a jackknife, because it's got a lock. So can I see yours for a second? So when you pass a knife to someone, everyone looking. So when you pass a knife to someone, you say thank you, and then you let go. So take it back.
Thank you.
Then I can let go. All right, I'll take it back. Everyone paying attention? You let go. That was bad. You wait till I say thank you. Thank you. All right. So on his also has a lock, but his lock is a little different. Where's his lock? His lock is right here. So there's a little lever right here. It's different. It's not dangerous. It's just different. So you push this to the side to unlock it, and then you can close it. And then I think it also has a safety here. So yeah, it has a safety here as well, so that it can't open in your pocket. So on his, you have to slide this back, and then to open it, you can either open it with your thumb here or back here. Yeah, that's cool. So I'm gonna close it.
It's the highest rated knife on it.
Would you like this back?
Do you have
So I do. It's in my. So
How do I put the safety?
safety is right here. Push that forward, and then I can't. So this is also another kind of multi-tool knife, or a multi-knife, and this has pliers on it, and then it's the same idea. And it's the same idea. This one also has locks on it too, and then the tools come out to the side. Cool. All right, so I'm going to talk real briefly about why you buy good knives. So I'll just give you guys a quick lesson. I was giving your dad a quick lesson about this earlier. So one of these knives is really expensive, and one of these is really cheap. Yeah, if I put it that way, you'll. Which one? All right, so who thinks this is the nice knife? Nobody. Who thinks this is the nice knife? You think that one's the nice knife? So this is a $12 knife made in China. This is a $200 knife made in Germany. Okay? So there's a big difference. So there's a big difference in the quality of metal. So you have the wood. Yeah, the wood. This is a really nice, like, rosewood. So I'm just gonna talk to you real briefly about this. So see, this is stamped 440C. That has to do with the quality of steel. 440C is about the hardest kind of steel you can get for a pocket knife. Yours is also 440C, which is excellent. Swiss Army knives are not 440C. They're a different kind of metal, but they're also a really good metal. This knife is China. Okay? Unknown. It is an unknown kind of knife. And then also, if you look inside here, you can see all the metal in there is unfinished. It's all just rough. See, it's all rough.
Can I look at mine?
Yours doesn't have that. I'm sure. So it's all like they didn't bother finishing this. It's a junky knife.
China probably made
That's
it
not.
for $5.
So that's not. However, hold on. But that's not to say that everything that comes out of China is garbage. Sometimes they do make. There is a good steel that comes out of China, and you'll know it because I have one.
Whoa.
So this is a different kind of knife. It is a buck knife. It's again, this has a lock in the center. So this knife is also made in China, but you'll see it has on here 8CR13 MOV. It's not the best, but that's the best you can get out of China. And that means that it's basically the best kind of steel that you can get out of China. So while this knife isn't as good as this one, it's not bad. It's an okay knife because they actually told you what kind of metal it's made out of. This is made in Switzerland, so that's an excellent knife. So we're going to talk about.
Is this the same as mine?
Yes, yours might have more to it. Okay. Where is that from? I don't know. Let's find out. Why'd you let go?
Oh, sorry.
So I'm going to let you guys practice here in a second, but hold on. Where is yours made? Yeah, don't mix them up because mine's old. So this is probably made. I don't know where this is made. Your dad has the receipt. He might know actually. This is 30 years old. So
Dad, where is this from? Dad, where is this from?
China. China.
Amazon. Is that a China one?
Yeah, it's a China knife.
Well, that explains why it's only $15.
Yeah, but it's got a good steel, so that's okay.
Say this?
No. It's got good steel, so you know what? If it came from China, it's good.
This is a China.
It's a Chinese knife that has good steel, so it proved me wrong.
But it's not cheap steel, Eric.
Yeah, it's actually good steel, which is crazy. So, sit. Which is what I said. I just said. We just went over that you can get good knives out of China. You just have to pay attention to the steel. I just said that. I know I just said it. Can we roll back on the tape? I know I just said that. So, here it is. Edit what? We'll edit that out where I said you can get good stuff out of China. You just have to pay attention to the steel. So, this is a wooden knife. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to pass it to each other, saying what words. Thank you. And you're going to open it and close it. Okay, I'm going to show you how to open it and close it. It's wood, so you can't hurt yourself. That's why we're going to do it. So it's got a button here, just like the button. Button? All right, to close it, you got to do it like this. The Cub Scouts wants you to do it like this. You close it like this.
So your goal is not to cut yourself.
Exactly. Maggie, did you bring lipstick? She's not even over there.
Yeah.
You did? All right.
Oh.
He's gonna color it. Color red!
That sounds safe.
Bloody. Bloody red! I got my hand!
So it's gonna look like blood now.
No! Yeah! Oh, so now people get hurt themselves.
So, again, everyone watching? Vincent, you watching? You close it like this,
Why
okay?
is it red?
If you end up with red on your hands, you're doing it wrong.
Well, why is it
Because
red?
we just wiped off a little extra. You ready?
Oh, so our goal
Open it.
is not to get bloody.
The goal is to not get blood on your hands, correct. If you get blood on your hands, you did it wrong. Now close it. Push button. There you go.
I don't think I can put that.
There you go. Put the palm of your hand. Perfect. Let me pass it.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Let me see your hands. Good job.
Can I get blood on my hands? Yes. It's kind of hard. I hate getting cut by knives because I actually have been cut by this.
Yeah, it was extra. I saw it. You didn't actually touch the blade. I saw it.
She almost got cut.
Yeah, pass it.
She almost got it.
I brought this with me.
I just wish I had like one of those blood machines that they use.
It's just a muscle. It's confusing.
Is it not even like a real knife?
Yeah, it's a wooden.
Be careful.
A wooden knife?
No, that's not how you're supposed to.
There you go. Pass it.
Thank you.
Cut with the wooden knife that was made.
How do I open this? There.
Nice job.
Button. Is that the button?
Push. Yeah, you push the button in.
I
I
like
wanted
it.
to get blood.
I'm impressed so far. You've got no bloody hands so far, which is excellent. It means you guys are actually listening to me. I like it.
Basically,
We're not.
so basically it's the only lipstick on our hands extra that got on our.
Yeah, you guys, none of you have done anything incorrect. It's just you got a little bit extra on you.
I
There's-
want to
Perfect.
see how it is on your hands.
Thank you. Let me see everyone's hands.
My hands.
Amazing.
My hands are dirty.
Amazing.
Right now.
No, we're not going to play. We've got so much more to do.
Oh, we're not good playing with knives.
All right, so now you'll learn how to clean a knife.
Is that
So-
my knife? This
This knife, so this is the knife that I carried when I was a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. This is 30 years old. And when you buy a knife, yes,
Why does yours have a little screw thing in one place?
it's just different models. I don't have a screwdriver.
Mine's the same as
So it
mine.
used to be, the Swiss Army used to think that it was mandatory that you'd be able to open a bottle of wine. That's why, I'm not even kidding, that is the actual reason. So, alright, so when you buy a knife that is made out of good steel, it doesn't rust. And so you can see that this knife is all scratched up and beat up, but it's still sharp, and I can still sharpen it. So we're going to go over how to clean a knife and sharpen it, yes.
I kind of have this nails and stuff with this. Needs to be clean.
Okay, well we're not there yet. Hold on.
I got this. I got this.
Mine's quick because I've never.
I had this retarded bottle beer opener. Mine has
Yeah, oh no, I mean, that's it. I would have to make sure I get what is the best.
Alright, so, alright, everyone watching? So to clean, because you all have, except for you, all have multi-tools. So to clean a knife, you're watching, you open up all the little compartments of it.
The less supply you're going to
And as you open it, yeah, you have to be careful. As you open it, it gets more difficult because there's more tension on the springs that are inside of here, okay? And so you can see, dirty. 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 So, it's 30 years old. How do you already know all this stuff already? So what you do is you take a little bit of oil. You just need like 1 drop of oil. That's like 4 drops of oil. And you just take it and you go in here. And you clean out all the goop. See all the goop coming out of it? And also oil is good. Probably 30 years. So this is, so oil, why do we oil knives? Anyone know?
Because the gears are more.
So why do you oil knives? I mean, it's kind of obvious why we oil knives.
Okay, so
Like how you oil dirt, so it works better.
so if we did not oil our knives, then our knives would get dirty, number one. And like whenever we put something, like it would get on it, and then that would, and then if we ate whatever something that we cut, we would get sick.
So that's part, what's your other reason?
Because if you don't oil it, it would be so hard to open and close them.
Yeah, so when you oil something, it makes, yeah, so when you oil something, it makes it easier to open and close. It also, oil has a very important property. It rejects water. So when you oil stuff, it helps keep it from rusting. So as you can see that I cleaned it, so I cleaned it, and now it opens up, and if I really want to, I can put some more oil back here where the hinges are, and then it'll open up a lot easier. No, yours is, your knives are all brand new, you don't need it. Yes.
Mine is
That's it.
You took the water fountain over there and put a ton of oil on the lid. Would there not be able for the water to come out?
I don't know what you mean. All right, so now we're going to go over how to sharpen a knife. I'm not going to do this very much because you guys don't need to sharpen your knives. They're all brand new, but I'll show you how to
My
sharpen.
knife is
Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to sharpen it on
I
mine.
think I know how.
So what is this called? Anybody have any ideas?
sharpener. A block of wood, a block of metal, a block of turf. I remember what it is.
It's a whetstone. Whetstone.
That is it.
So in order to use a whetstone,
You put oil on
you put oil on it.
and then you get.
I thought it was water.
Okay.
It's so much oil.
Because the stone's going to absorb it. That's actually a very good question because the stone is porous. So you want me to sharpen yours? I can sharpen yours. Put down.
Porous.
We don't pass open knives. Talked about that. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Yeah, this is old. All right, so this is funny. And this is not a real Swiss Army knife.
It's a China.
It's a China knife. So this is not a real knife. This is not a real knife.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun using with my little hands.
Is it a butter knife?
So you start at the edge and you go like this, and you do that 3 or 4 times. And so you can see the metal, this knife is not very sharp at all. Exactly. And so when you're done with that, this is the only time you're allowed to do a knife stroke towards yourself. You start at the edge. You go like that without cutting yourself. Okay.
What is if you do cut yourself?
And you can see this knife is very dull because I can just tell.
Is it a butter knife?
It's nothing knife really.
Yes, it's a dumb knife. Because it's so dull. You know what it's called?
Like you're not going to be able to use this for anything.
No, it's called a dumb knife.
Anyway, so that's how you sharpen a
Well, then
knife.
I
You
have
guys,
this.
you guys don't need to do that today, but that's how you sharpen a knife. I have
This
to demonstrate that for you.
There's nothing
Yeah, that knife.
with that?
Yeah, that's for like your nails or something. So let me just make sure I've covered everything before we get to the soap.
It's like a fake knife.
So that's how we get to the soap. Let's see.
It doesn't matter.
We did that. We did the plastic. We did the fake knife. We did that. We did the toothpick and cotton swab. I did that.
Is that
How to cut away from yourselves. How to sharpen a knife. We did that. All right. I'm going to show you. We're going to have a quiz.
Yeah.
There's a quiz, and then I'm going to show you how. We're going to do a quiz, and then we're going to get to carve a bar of soap, and then the Boy Scouts are going to help you do that. Ready for the quiz?
No.
Ah, put the knife away. Oh my gosh.
It's just pliers. I have
All right.
pliers too. I don't have pliers. I just have
needs to be
Swiss
moved.
Army knife.
All right. True or false? I'm going to go down the line. You ready? I'm going to do it. I'm going to just like law school. Ready? True or false? It's okay to carry your knife to a pack meeting or school as long as you have your whittling chip.
What?
It's okay to carry your knife to a pack meeting or to school as long as you have. It's false? That's the correct answer. Next. As long as I get permission to bring my knife, I don't need my whittling chip to carry my knife with me.
What's a whittling chip?
What you're doing right now.
This?
No, it's actually a card. It says you have permission. So no, you can't. If you don't have the card with you, you can't be carrying a knife. And you all will get cards when we're.
I failed that because I don't know what
You don't know.
whittling chip
You didn't know what a whittling chip was, so you haven't been paying attention. So you failed. Okay.
You failed. Congrats, you failed.
It's okay to bring your knife to a den meeting if your leader asks you and your parents approve.
True.
True. Yes.
Give me all the questions.
It's okay to cut towards yourself.
No.
No. Good answer. It's okay to pass an open knife as long as you're careful. False. All right.
Give me the rest of the questions.
A dull knife a dull knife is safer than a sharp knife.
It doesn't. You can't even have a sheath knife in the
False. False. Dirt on the blade helps keep it sharp.
No, it's a dumb one.
Never carve your initials into anything that doesn't belong to you.
True.
Okay. When someone hands you a knife and you say thank you to show good manners.
Wait, what? Can you read that again?
This is a terrible question. I didn't write these questions. When someone hands you a knife, you say thank you to show good manners.
No.
No. Why do you say thank you?
So you can get the knife.
It's a show that shows them that you have a good grip on the knife and they can let go. Good job.
So if you don't say thank you,
A pocket knife should always be closed when it's not in use or in your pocket.
But it is good.
It is also good manners, but that's not why we do it.
well, if it's not in use or not in your pocket,
It should be closed. Yes. Good on.
Can I talk?
You should close the blade with the palm of your hand.
Yes.
Yes, like this. That's what we're talking about, like that. A Cub Scout should carry a fixed blade in a sheath. You don't know what a fixed blade is. That's the sheath knife. The thing that he had. Yeah, no. Okay.
Well, I got it.
So
You should never carry a
that's your quiz. I'm really glad that you all did that. I'm going to show you real quickly.
I never got one wrong.
One person failed.
Who failed? Right, me.
All right, so we have to demonstrate how to make a stop cut. And then you got, what's a stop cut? Where's my other bag? There's an open bar of soap in that bag.
Cut something. Why don't I just use mine? So you have to be in a fancy
Okay, so you guys are all going to get a bar of soap. And you're gonna spread out your blood circles. Hey, Vincent, come down. Hey, we're not done yet. Sit down. We're not done yet.
I have ivory.
Good. Ivory's good.
I also have dove.
All right, sit. We're not done. I have to show you how to do this.
What if I get
So,
more soap?
what's a good knife for this? Let me see your knife.
Swiss Army.
Eric, let me have your knife. You've got a good knife for this.
I have a good one too. I have a good one.
Thank you. All right, sit.
I don't want to sit.
So, the first thing you have to do.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have to say thank you when you do this? Do you have to cut
No, it's
out
yourself.
smiley face?
So, to a stop cut. A stop cut is when you take a knife, you're watching, and you kind of go like that. That's a stop cut. And so what that does is it prevents your knife from going all the way through. Okay? And when you're going to be cutting these, this is actually really soft. You're going to make little cuts. Okay? Don't make big cuts. Because you make big cuts, you can make big mistakes, and you can hurt yourself. So make little cuts. Okay? So you all are going to get your own bar of soap.
I already have soap.
And when you're done with your dirt, your knife's going to get dirty, and that's fine because it's soap. We'll wash it off when you're done. It's soap. Soap comes right off, as you just saw.
These are juice stuff.
All right, and you're gonna here. Hold on. Let me show you what you're doing. Let me show you what you're gonna be carving. Look, you're gonna make a fish.
I cannot do
It doesn't have to be perfect. It can look like this. You can make a dog or a bear, okay?
Making a fish.
Okay, you just make 4 legs. The fish is easy, turtles are easy.
Wait, what
All right. You can sketch the knife. You can use it. So if you have a multi-tool, let me see when you multi-tool. Sit down. Thank you. So you have this tool. You can use this tool to like carve the outline. So I want to. It's not really a knife. It's like a toothpick almost. It's for wire cutting. But so you can see, look, and I just drew a little kind of an outline of a dog. And then yeah, it's close enough. And then I know I got a car. That's kind of where I'm going. Okay. You don't have to do that. You can kind of do it.
Do I have to carve an animal?
Okay.
No, you can carve whatever you want as long as it's not an object. Okay. Yeah. So in order to do this, you have to carve 2.
Does it have to be something?
It has to be something. You have to carve 2 objects. So either we can do